Alright, this is an updated video to my E-stepper mount. This is Mark 7. This is a previous version, just to show you what I've been through. Let's get started. So, two things you want before starting this. Print the files in the description below. Get some zip ties. And optional, get the tubing that the printer came with for the filament. That's if you want to revert back to how things were. So now, unmount the E-stepper. Just leave the black plate that the extruder is mounted on. That's where we're going to put the spool mount on. After that, reorganize the wire system for the extruder. And you're going to want to have it somewhat looking like this. That's the cable for the extruder, and it's out of the way from the other cables. Alright, one more thing. These little screws right here, these are the screws that normally go right over here, what I'm pointing at. They hold this black plate to this silver frame. I replaced them with two other screws that I had laying around. So once you do that, now we are ready to go and mount the E-step. Finally. So first things, you want to clip the black shell to the mount. Next, I'm gonna use something thin like this and get these cables out of the way. Once they're out of the way, you want to look from above down at the holes and make sure they all line up. Then you squash lightly on the mount down on the cables. Make sure it's straight as well. It's not like this, tilted or anything like that. Now you put the screw inside. It's kind of tricky, but you can use a clipper and that will make it easier actually. Doesn't have to be super tight, just normally tight. That's good. A little bit wobbly. That's where these screws come into play. Something you want to notice is the mount is going to be coming down where you are tightening the screws at. So you stop once it's leveled with this. So they don't have to be all the way tight. And if they are tight, then it's gonna be tilted like so. Now the one in the back, that one, that one feels pretty tight, that screw. So the first screw, you don't want it all the way tight or any form of tightness, because it's just gonna tilt that way. All right. So now this is where the tubing comes into play. So insert the tubing and now is the time for you to cut it. So you take this plate that goes with the E-stepper mount and you cut it until it's leveled with the ground, basically. And you want to make sure it's it goes into the little hole that is inside this big hole. Like right there, I'm trying to wiggle it around until I feel that connection. And there you go. Might be easier for you guys. It is usually pretty quick. So there you go. It looks pretty flat with that, right? It looks good. So now the motor comes in now. Now, this is perfect. This might happen to you, which is this plate right here. You might not be able to see it, but it should be clamped all the way. I don't think it is. Maybe it is. Actually, it is. It's clamped all the way. You want to make sure this side back here is closed. Now you're good to go. Now you take your mounting screws and you go for it. Now you're gonna have to get your own screws for the top spool holder mount. This might take some time. Don't mind skipping ahead. And also at this moment, you might want to start getting your hot end to the filament printing temperatures. Once I'm done with this screw, I'm gonna do that. You want to make sure this is flat with the wall, the mount. Almost there. Let's heat it up. You want these kind of tight. Yeah, that's sturdy there. We're basically done. So now all you need is to insert the filament. That is the next step now. So, to do that, make sure you cut your tip. Got some cutting tools for that. And just checking my temperature on the computer so you guys can see here. You're on 200 right now. I'm going straight to the extruder. We're going to extrude manually. So, right there, it's in action. So, you insert it first. You might want to do this with two hands, but yeah, you want to do it with two hands. And there you go. It took it. And You just keep going until you see filament coming out. You go easy on it. 10 at a time for every 2 seconds or so. And that was it, basically. Oh, righty then.